All right, so I'm back from another great summer trip. This summer has been very good for me so far. I just came back from Montreal. And if you haven't obviously already seen it, I made an episode a couple days ago with my friend Iman for the 300th episode special. You should definitely go watch that because it was such a good video. I made 4 episodes that I pre-recorded ahead of time for this trip because I went on the trip, right? So that was kind of what was there the last few days. Now today we're back to kind of live episodes, not live episodes, but like I'm recording on the same day I'm posting. So I am recording this on the day that it is going to be posted, which is going to be on Tuesday, August 4th. So I'm done. Like the pre-recorded episodes have been released now, and now it's kind of back to the regular scheduled program and routine for me personally. But I'm just, of course, gonna do what I've been doing every time I go on like a little trip, a little vacation. Just kind of talk about it a little bit, give some kind of interesting things and fun stories that happened on it, and just give a little reflection as to how it went. But yes, as I said, the summer's been very good. This is the third trip that I've went on, and hopefully in the month of August we can do one or two more if things go well. But obviously we'll see, and obviously you'll see as well as you're watching the show, as you're following the show. I honestly haven't even seen how the episodes that I posted while I was gone did. Like I haven't even checked YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Like TikTok, I didn't post any shorts, but YouTube, I didn't check it literally since I left because the whole point is I want to enjoy the vacation. That's why I pre-recorded the episodes. The only thing I did was on the way there, I edited the episode I did with Iman and then I posted it. But other than that, I didn't focus at all on anything that had to do with social media, with YouTube, with anything. So now I'm back, and now it's kind of back to regular routine, and I'll check how the stuff did. But obviously, if you haven't watched some of those episodes, I made an episode talking about Shame, which was on the Friday. Obviously, the 300th episode special with Iman on the Saturday, which that was an amazing interview that we did together, and an amazing conversation we had. Then I made an episode talking about the Christian denominations, which that was also pretty interesting. I tried my best to explain it in as good of a way as I can. I think I did a good job. That was the Sunday episode, and then the Monday episode, which was yesterday, was me talking about my football journey. It was me talking about some interesting things that maybe I hadn't revealed and realizations I had about the truth of it all. So go watch some of them because it was some good content that I posted, even if it was pre-recorded. This video isn't just gonna be a plug for those. Obviously, I'm gonna get into how my vacation went, but obviously I just wanted to touch upon that and let you know that those were great videos that I made in advance for my time in Montreal. So I went to Montreal, right? And I'm from Toronto, if you didn't know already. So the drive from Toronto to Montreal, on the way up, it took like 6, 7 hours. Not to say the joke, it took about that long. On the way back, it took way longer because we got into all sorts of traffic, which usually isn't the case. I feel like usually if you're doing like a road trip, you you go and like on the way back it's faster than on the way there. But I guess this time it just didn't really work out. But still, it was the long weekend, so it's a long weekend in Canada because yesterday on Monday was a holiday. It was a civic holiday or something like that in 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 August. It's not really. I think it maybe only be like it's only like an Ontario or even like a Western Canada thing. I don't even think it was a holiday in Quebec, but I think and definitely in America it's not a holiday. But basically on the way we stopped in a couple of like small towns and then eventually we made it to Montreal. We were in a hotel outside of the city, so I don't usually like that, but we ended up having some fun. Obviously, I'll get into what we did. And and yeah, like it's a little far away, but honestly it was fun. The road trip was fun both ways. It was just vibes. Like I played some Minecraft, like I got on Minecraft. I made my own like Minecraft road trip world, which is just like it's basically a world that I'm doing just for every time I'm on like a road trip or vacation or something like that. And obviously I'll get into why I did that because obviously you might be thinking, oh, you want to enjoy your vacation, right? You don't want to just be playing Minecraft the whole time. But obviously I'll get into it. But I think that was fun. Both road trips on the way there and on the way back were fun. We did some like trivia questions. We had some fun, right? I went with my family, right? I wasn't with friends. It was with family, but we still had a great time together. And it was just good vibes, good time spent on those car rides that we long car rides, like almost 15 hours total worth of car rides on the way there and the way back. But yeah, we got to Montreal. The first day was just like settling in type of day, and then Saturday was really the main day where we went into the city and And we had a reason why we were in Montreal, but it was me and my brother. We were doing some we would just spend time we were just dropped off in the city, and we spent time in the city, and the rest of my family, they went and did what they needed to do, the actual reason why they were there. But we went, and we kind of just saw the city, right? And honestly, like in my personal opinion, like Montreal is not that bad of a city. Like we had this kind of running joke within the family. Oh, it's like it's terrible. It's depressing. There's nothing to do here. It's a waste of time. Why are you even in there, right? But honestly, I think I had a good time, and I think my brother had a good time too. He won't admit it, but I think he had a good time. But we had the running joke. But honestly, like my opinion is that Toronto is not that much better of a city. Like it's like you have some more sports teams. Maybe there's a couple more things to do. There's the CN Tower. Obviously, that's great. But in terms of like a lot of things, like in terms of just walking the streets, or in terms of just shopping, or in terms of just, like the safety aspect, or like crackheads on the streets, like it's kind of the same. Like my opinion on Toronto is, it's like it's a dump. Like it's my city, but like I don't have real affiliation with it. Like I don't have an affection to it, because I spent so much time away from it, being in Portugal and Spain, and seeing parts of the world that are way better, and living in parts of the world that are way better than here, and then having to come back here, of course. The truth is, Montreal's not that much different. Like, obviously, it's French, and, the French, it's like whatever, right? But it's not that much different to Toronto in terms of like the fundamental part of it. Like, I actually think there are parts of Montreal that we don't have here in Toronto, which is they have that main street, which is St. Catharines, and like they have that main, unfortunately we went there and there was a lot of construction going on, so we didn't actually get to like experience it, but a lot of it actually did have that kind of European type of feel to it, which I, obviously being the guy that lived in Europe, I have an affection to that was pretty cool. We don't really have that type of thing here in Toronto. It's not the same, where you have this super long street with just a bunch of shops and vibes and people, and it's just, you're just chilling, having a good time, right? Like that's the kind of thing that I saw when I was out in Madrid, for example. Like that's the kind of thing they had there on if you know Gran Via, which is the main kind of shopping area in Madrid. They had that type of a thing there, and that was what that street St. Catharines in Montreal reminded me of. Obviously, we went to the malls, we saw the malls, we went to a couple of stores, we just walked around and stuff, and then we went to Old Montreal. I think Old Montreal is probably the other like big main attraction. But yes, it looks a lot like a European feel, and I enjoyed it. I think we didn't spend too much time in Montreal, and like really we only had one main day where we were there, because obviously I'll tell you what happened on the next 2 days, but this was the Saturday. We only had one main day where we were there, but I had a good time, and I think we saw the city. We pretty much saw everything you really needed to see in the city. We did a lot of walking, over 30,000 steps each for me and my brother, because of course I'll talk about what we did after, which was kind of funny, which was cool. We went there, but we saw Old Montreal. There was this very funny street performer, and my brother actually went in and got involved in it, and it was like the guy was hilarious. Like, so we watched that, and that was kind of in Old Montreal as well. And then we took the subway, which again, it's pretty cool to take the subway of another city. We took it, and then we kind of went back to the main area, which was like St. Catharines and the malls and all that stuff. We went to the arcade. There's an arcade in the Montreal Eden Center, and we had some fun in the arcade. We played some games. We won a couple of prizes, and then pretty much we were like, all right, are we gonna do anything else? Like we kind of walked around. We saw everything there was to see. We kind of just checked out a lot of interesting things, and then we kind of decided, all right, we'll just go home, right? But of course, like I checked the Uber, and Uber was over $50. So I was like, you know what? Like, I don't really want to pay this. Let's just walk, right? So our goal was just kind of walk out of the main downtown area of the city, just to walk towards the bridge, because obviously to get to kind of the rural area, which was where our hotel was at, you had to kind of cross the bridge. The bridge was it was the Samuel de Champlain bridge. That was like the main bridge we had to cross. And believe it or not, you can actually walk on it. So that's what we ended up deciding to do, was we literally walked from the heart of downtown Montreal, kind of around through like the rural neighborhood of Montreal. That was cool. It's kind of seeing like the more kind of housing district, which is not really what you see as a tourist. I think that was pretty cool, pretty interesting. And then we walked through it, and then we walked across the bridge. We literally walked the whole bridge. So we literally walked like 10K basically. Like the bridge was like almost 5K long, basically. Yeah, it was like 4.8 or something like that. It was, no, maybe it was like 4K long. and we walked basically from downtown across the bridge, and finally when we got to the other side of the bridge, we we then called the Uber, and I managed to save 20 bucks or so on the Uber, thankfully. And then we took the Uber to our hotel. Obviously we weren't like, dude, like my brother googled it. It would have been like an 8 hour walk if we had walked from downtown to all the way to the hotel. So like we didn't do that, but we walked very far. We walked at least for 2 to 3 hours, just going, walking through the housing neighborhood and seeing things, and just kind of experiencing the vibe of it. I think that was pretty cool. That was probably one of the highlights of it. And then of course my feet were so dead. But we walked through the bridge. We just saw the river, the scenery. Like the bridge was actually super cool because they have like benches scattered throughout, because I guess when they designed it, they figured that people would just need time to rest and time to have a break. Like the bridge is designed as like a bike path, but you are allowed to walk on it. So we did it, and we got a good view of Montreal. We got a good couple of pictures taken on those benches, like elite 10 out of 10 benches that they put there on that bridge. And then yeah, we went back to the hotel. So pretty much that was our day in Montreal. It wasn't anything too crazy. Like we didn't buy anything like spectacular. Like we just went around and just saw the city, and we just walked around and like took a couple of pictures. We had that funny moment with that street performer. We took the metro, and then we walked like a very long time, and we saw good scenery, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much, I mean, I feel like that's pretty much all you can do in Montreal, apart from like a couple of other like smaller things. But in the downtown area, at least, that's kind of all there was. Unfortunately, there was some construction in, again, as I said, in the main area, so it wasn't as like much of a vibe. But it was still cool. It was still fun. I think I quite enjoyed the time, and you don't have to ever go back there, but if you do, it's not the worst thing in the world. At least for me, in my opinion, it was a decent city, so we saw those things, and now I can say that I saw those things, even if it's not the craziest thing. It's just another thing to add to this summer, which has been very good for me. But yes, then the problem, then of course the Saturday was the main day that we spent in the city, because then Sunday it literally rained all day. Basically, Sunday and Monday, basically, it rained all day. So that's why I just played Minecraft, because we literally just chilled in the hotel room pretty much the entire day on Sunday. We went out a little bit, and then we came back. I actually did some driving, which was pretty interesting, to drive along the Quebec streets. Obviously, I have my full license. I talked all about that when I was doing it on the show. But I actually, like, it was interesting to drive in a new place, in a new province, with new roads and weird roads, some weird, so the weird ways the roads work out there. But that was also a pretty interesting thing that I did on Sunday. But then we got back. We literally ordered both lunch and dinner to the hotel room. We literally didn't leave the hotel room. We went down to go to the pool. And we had some fun. We burned some calories in the pool for a little bit. That was cool. That was fun, and that was pretty much all we did. Like the rest of the day was pretty much just like some of my family members were just watching TV shows and movies, and I was playing Minecraft because I decided to make a world, because like that was kind of all you can do. So we were just chilling. We were literally, like, it was a rainy day. We were just chilling, and we just spent some quality time with the family, and that was kind of what that Sunday was. And then on Monday was the day we left. We drove back into the city one final time, and unfortunately, it was raining very, very bad on Monday, so we didn't even really get out of the car. We just drove into the city, just kind of said one final hoorah, really, one final goodbye. The people in my family that hadn't seen the city yet got to at least get an experience of it, driving through the city, seeing a couple of the statues and interesting things that you can see in the city. Like there's a clock tower, Ferris wheel. And if it wasn't raining, maybe we would have actually done a thing or two, but still, we saw it one last time, drove through it, and my parents got some sandwiches because that's what they wanted to go and do as well. And because apparently Montreal is famous for their sandwiches, which I didn't know about, but so they went and got some sandwiches, and then we basically just drove out and we drove home. But that was our trip. It wasn't anything too crazy. Like Saturday was the main day, and like yeah, the Sunday was kind of a nothing day. The Monday was just a travel day as well. But honestly, I had fun, and I think I enjoyed the time that we spent there, and I enjoyed just going and seeing the things. I think we pretty much saw everything there is to see, really, in all honesty. So that's good. I think that's good. I don't really have any real hate towards the city. An interesting fact about Montreal that you might not have known is Montreal is actually an island. It's surrounded completely by water, by like rivers and stuff. So that's also pretty interesting that I didn't know as well. So you learn interesting things and you experience fun things when you're out there in a new city. And it really is that just that. It's just you're in a new city, you're experiencing things, you're seeing things that are different than your current, your current environment, and that's really all that was really about. But I had a good time. I had fun. It's another thing to check off the list, another thing to say that you went and did during the summer, and I had some pretty good food. It was like the food wasn't the best food I ever had in my life, but I had some pretty good food that I quite enjoyed, and and that's always good when you can have some food that you just are like, yes, this is good stuff. That's really all you can. That's all you can ask for, really. So the food was good. I think the vibes weren't horrible. Obviously, the rain in the end wasn't the greatest, but the main day we had, the vibes weren't bad. The vibes were chill, and yeah, I come back. We came back home to Toronto. We got home super late yesterday, so now we're here. I woke up pretty late today because we got home super late yesterday. Now we're here, and and now it's time for a new day, right? You're kind of back to your regular scheduled program. But that was my trip to Montreal. That was my reflection in terms of the things that I did and the sights that I saw while I was out there. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I didn't mind it. And would I go back? I probably wouldn't go back just to go back for no reason. Like you'd have to have a reason to go, right? We had a reason to go. Like I'm not going to share it because that's maybe more private, but we had a reason to go. And and unfortunately it rained on those final days, but the time that I did spend there on the Saturday was good time, and I appreciate it. And we walked the whole bridge, and you can say that you did that now, and then you just, you kind of move on, right? You kind of move on. So it was a good vacation. It was a good trip. I didn't actually spend that much money out there, which is also a positive as well. But that is pretty much it. That was my Montreal trip that I spent the whole weekend out there. We did it. We did it. We made it happen. We did the road trip. We spent some fun time, a lot of good time and bonding time spent with my family, which I always appreciate. And I always and I feel like I'm a pretty family oriented guy. So I so I so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I cherish those moments that I spent with the people that are closest to me that I love the most. So that's it. And of course, while I was out there, I never forgot my faith, right? Was continuing to pray, continuing to read the Bible, continuing to keep it going, which I think is also good as well, because it's like, especially when you're in like a crowded hotel room where it's like you don't really have a quiet space, I'm still able to find the place to make it happen, to keep my faith strong, to continuing to give it up to God no matter what. So yes, we didn't do anything kind of like degenerate type of behavior, right? We didn't go out in the night, we didn't go clubbing, because like I don't really like doing that stuff anyway. But like when you're in another city, the temptation is there. So the fact that we just were focused on just having a good time, and we had a real good time rather than kind of going and participating in all that negative stuff. That's another positive that I take from the trip as well, that I can appreciate, and that yes, it was a good trip, and now I can move on with my life, really go forward and do other things with my day back here in Toronto. So if I had to give it a rating, like I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10, because yeah, like the truth is, like on those rainy days it maybe could have been a bit better, but when we went, I think it was a good time, and that's really all you can ask for. So it was a good trip. It was a new city, and now I'm back here in Toronto. Different things coming up in my life, different videos, of course, podcast, getting back to the routine of it, and things that I have planned for you guys, different episodes I'll have planned this coming week. But that was kind of my reflection on my trip to Montreal. That's where I was at this past weekend, and that is that's it basically, right? Hopefully I'll get another couple of good trips before the end of the summer, before I get into kind of the grinding nature of the September and the school year and everything that kind of is with that. But that's it. That's really all I gotta say. That's all I gotta reflect on when it comes to this trip. That's it. It's done. That's it. That's all. It's done. So now we move on. One other final thing I want to mention is that whoever decided, whoever designed and came up with the idea of like those road stops, genius, bro. Genius guy, because those road stops are great. Because like honestly, like when I was in Portugal, we had, when we were driving on the highway, we had like a road stop, but it wasn't anywhere near as developed. It was just kind of like a small little restaurant area, and that was it. A restaurant with some parking, and they were literally out of food because there were so many people that were there, right? But this, like the ones that are here on the 401, which is the main highway, like just so good. Like they're called on routes, which are like, I guess, Ontario, right? It's stand for Ontario, and like every like 50 kilometers or so, there's one. And basically, it's like this place. You have your main restaurant. So you have like a Tim Hortons always, of course, and obviously I love Tim Hortons. You have like a little shop where you can buy like drinks and other snacks and stuff. Like that's super cool. And you have like another fast food place, whether it's like a Burger King or an A&W. It changes depending on the one. But then, of course, you have a gas station. Sometimes there's other things like there was a farmer's market, a small farmer's market at the one that we went to, and just basically a place to just chill, have a vibe, like refuel, use the bathroom, do those kinds of things, and and honestly, it's just genius. Like whoever decided that, like it's like the place to go when you need to use the bathroom, when you need to have some food, you're hungry. You don't have to like try and find a place in some rural town that you've never heard of before. I like it. I enjoy it, and I think I think it's a vibe. It's a good place, and it's an underrated thing when you are on like a long road trip like the one that we just went on. So that was one final thing that I wanted to mention. That's like whoever invented it, cool guy, like honestly genius, because also great business model because there's so many people there, like it is so filled every single time that we were there, packed with people. So great business model first and foremost, and second of all just a great vibe for us road trippers that we get to just chill for a little bit in between driving on the highway, right? And of course refueling the car and filling up the gas, we had to do that a few times as well. So I just wanted to add that as one final thing that I enjoyed on this trip. The road trip vibes were super good, and yeah, the road trip is like the main part of it, and it was fun. It was fun. So that's it for this trip. Now I move on with my life, and that's kind of that. That is it. That is actually all that I gotta say for today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that you chuckled a little bit and had a smile or so with some of these entertaining, interesting stories when it came to my recent trip. But that is it. So I hope that you have a good rest of your summer as well, that you have some good vacations, road trips, and fun moments and memories that you make with your family and your friends as well. I've already had the privilege to have a few of those moments as well. So I cherish that. I praise God. I thank God that we've had those chances and these opportunities, and hopefully a couple more still before the summer ends. So I hope that you can cherish and experience some of those types of moments and fun times with your family and friends as well in your life as well. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. Of course, I'm coming at you tomorrow with another good episode planned. So that's really it for me. Thank you for watching. I ask that you show your support on the show in any way that you can, as I always do. If you can, leave a like, subscribe on YouTube, and follow on Spotify if you haven't done that yet for the show. Any way that you can support the show in any way would be greatly appreciated. Just you being here and you making it this far is also very appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining. But that is all I truly have to say for today. So continue to glorify God every day throughout your life. Thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.